What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Skulls and Knives podcast. It's been a minute. How are you guys doing? Thanks for hanging in there. There's been a lot of crazy stuff happening. So we were in Arizona, and that podcast, the podcast with my dad, the Fuck You Dad segment, was delayed just because Christmas. And so that one came out late. And then the one I was going to do when we came back got canceled because my cat had to get put to sleep that day. And I was obviously not in the mood to podcast. So, yeah, and then I was supposed to do it yesterday, but there was a work emergency and I had to come in to work literally during the time that the podcast was supposed to be going on. Anyways, let's do some housekeeping. Shout out to my little brother Ty for buying me this little guy to accompany me on the mic. If you know me, you know I love Naruto. I'm still not finished with it, but holy crap, is it good. He got me a shirt too for Christmas. That's a Boruto shirt, which is Naruto's son, and it says Naruto, or it says Boruto's dad, and it has Naruto on it. And then let's see, my parents bought me a smartwatch, which is pretty neato. So I can track my elevated heart rate, which is it's not elevated right now. It's only at 82. It's a pretty mild heart rate. See what else. I got a exercise bike for my wife really early because it came in the mail and I was the one who answered the door. So I've been using that a lot, and that's great. Also want to apologize before we go on with this podcast if I cough or clear my throat or sniffling a whole bunch. I'm going to try and do it away from the microphone and not gross you guys all out, but I am coming off of being a little sick. Then we're doing a sticker share. If you're listening to this, if you share us on Facebook or Instagram, and it'd be better if you tag us as well in any capacity, sharing the Facebook page or sharing the podcast link. Especially if you share the podcast link, make sure to tag us in it because I won't be able to see that you did that. And we'll be doing a drawing to pull your name out of a hat, and if your name is called, you get a free sticker, and we'll hit you up, or you hit us up if you hear this and we haven't hit you up yet, and we'll get you a sticker sent to you. So I announced that drawing last week as well, so we have a couple names in a hat. This is a very special hat to me. It's signed by Luis Gonzalez and a couple other Arizona Diamondbacks players that I don't remember the names of, but it's cool. I had it when I was a little kid, and my dad was helping build these baseball field of dreams, and so these guys were basically different Arizona Diamondbacks baseball players that the fields were sponsored by, named after, and so let's see. I'm going to draw one lucky person from shared last week's podcast, and it is Priority Brand. It's my buddy Randy's company. They shared us on Instagram, and they've been pretty cool about it. Randy's awesome too. Make sure you go check out Priority Brand. I don't have any other stuff. If you want to send me some, I'm down. But they have some pretty cool streetwear. But yeah, so we'll be sending my buddy Randy a free sticker. So let's get into what we're talking about today. So, I mean, there's the glaring news that I guess we should probably just go ahead and discuss first, which is all this shit with Iran. Holy hell. World War III, am I right, guys? You guys ready for Boogaloo too? Oh, man. It's just such a complicated, scary, horseshit situation to be in as American citizens right now. I feel like we're all kind of antsy and itchy about it. Especially because of, I mean, if you haven't checked the news, it's kind of breaking right now. Let's see, let's go to CNBC. Iran state TV says that the Tehran has launched missiles at Iraqi air bases housing U.S. troops. So I believe it says they launched 12 or 14 or something like that. And there is no confirmed U.S. casualties yet, I don't think. It's kind of an ongoing battle right now, but it's kind of scary stuff. And I wonder what this is all about. Just saw a pop up on here. Boeing 737 passenger plane crashes in Iran. I wonder what that has to do with everything. Board with 180 aboard. So a Boeing 737 passenger plane with 180 aboard crashed in Iran right after takeoff, according to Iranian news agencies reported. It's a Ukrainian plane crashed due to technical problems after taking off in Iran's airport. Man, that's brutal. Probably a bunch of people just trying to get the fuck out. Damn. That's literally all the information that's there. It literally just happened like 2 minutes ago. But anyways, my heart goes out to the soldiers and their families. All I hear from the podcasts I listen to from ex-Navy SEAL guys like Jocko Willink and Pat McNamara and the podcast University of Badassery. That and then I read Sean Parnell's book about being in Afghanistan as well. That indirect fire, meaning fire you can't really shoot back at, like missiles and stuff, is extra hard on the mind and on the soul, because there's nothing you can do about it but lay in wait. And so that's some heavy shit. And I think that regardless of what I think, you think, anybody thinks, we should take a moment and just recognize how crazy it is to be over there as an American soldier and have massive amounts of respect to the to our troops, and I think we all should. But going off of that, I want to talk about more of the kind of political nightmare that this whole Iran shit's been. And I don't want to spend too much time on this. I have some fun shit planned after this, so don't be disheartened right off the bat that we're talking about this. But man, I mean, I it's not that I don't think, I'm blanking on his name right now, but the general, I have him right in front of my face, Qasem Soleimani. It's not that I don't think he deserved to die. You know what I mean? Like, I feel weird saying that anyone necessarily like deserves to die, but I'm not saying necessarily that killing him was a bad thing. But yeah, check the comments. Okay, I'm checking the comments. Apparently there's something important. No American casualties. Trump will be addressing it tomorrow morning. Thank you, Eric, for the update. That's really good to hear. Yeah, but it's just crazy. I'm really glad to hear that. Thanks, man. Shit. But anyways, I just feel like regardless of whether, so you're basically assassinating what's almost like you're assassinating, like, if someone was to assassinate a 5-star general here that was also in charge of policy making, as far as like if the vice president was also like a general. It's similar to the level of this guy's level of this guy in the political hierarchy in Iran, and with how Iran is entangled with Russia and China, it just makes me really nervous about agitating anything with them, because I just have a feeling that we're either going to have a pseudo war in Iran, where we're fighting the Iranians mixed with, Russian money, guns, possibly even troops. Same with China, and it's not just the money. I mean, I was just reading yesterday. I meant to pull it up before I started this, but just the other day, Iran was doing joint military exercises with China and Russian Navy. So their navies were doing joint exercises together somewhere in the Middle East. I don't remember exactly where, but probably in the Mediterranean Ocean. But it's just a massive entanglement that makes me really worried about possibility of nuclear war. I mean, we're tiptoeing on pretty shady ground, and so that makes me nervous. But something else I also wanted to say about Iran before we kind of move on, is that the embassy attack, protest, whichever one you want to call it, was backed by a terrorist group there in Iraq that is somehow or another backed by Iran. There is not obviously, because it's an enemy government, there's not a ton of information on, at least publicly, on exactly how they are funded by Iran. Whether Iran gave them money, 10 years ago, or if they helped supply them weapons for some reason. But a lot of people have, including the United States government, have claimed this as being Iran choosing to have this, like, funding this protest. And I just haven't seen any. And like I said, I know it's a national security issue, so I could be totally fucking wrong, but I just personally haven't been able to find any evidence of that being the case. Just because someone is receiving money from a government doesn't necessarily mean that government, at some point in time, again, there's no information that I can find on how much or when. There's no tracking of this on our end, at least publicly. But if we know at some point they were funded or given weapons by Iran in some capacity, and then we just assume that means that whatever they do is because of Iran, and Iran directed them to do it, it's almost like saying that that ISIS is an American entity. Those guys were all funded by the United States CIA a while back. We gave them tons of weapons. They're probably still using those weapons to kill American soldiers. I mean, what's the difference? I don't know. So, like I said, there's no information on how directly involved Iran is actually in that. Like I said, at least publicly. And so it makes me hesitant to be like, yeah, that's justification to go into war with Iran. So far in this thing, it just, I mean, we've been saying that Iran is deadly and scary and the boogeyman since the 80s. And nothing's happened. I mean, yes, they've funded terrorist groups, but so does Saudi Arabia, and we don't do anything about that. And I just feel like if we would stop this interventionist bullshit, we wouldn't lose American lives for almost no fucking reason. I know there's a lot of reasons to be over there, but I'm just sick and tired of basically being in an endless war over there. And yeah, whatever. That's my take on that shit. Let's go to the notes and see where I'm headed next. All right. So one of the subscribers to the podcast asked me to talk about Bohemian Grove, which is a secret society just outside of. Well, it's not a secret society per se. It's a very secretive boys' summer club, and by boys I mean rich millionaires and billionaires and politicians. That's outside of San Francisco. And they asked me to look into it, and there's not a ton of information on them. Obviously, they're a secret society, but they do a bunch of these weird rituals in the woods. There's a lot of very prominent people that meet there. A couple notes I have listed down and I'll include all of these links in the show notes. But a couple things about them. Let's see. So they're called the Bohemians or the Bohemian Club members. It's a 2,700-acre campground outside of San Francisco. The summer camp happens in July. It's all men, mostly white. Most of them are household names on Wall Street and in Washington. And some of the previous members include Rockefeller, Roosevelt, Morgan, Bush. But a majority of the group hail from the San Francisco Bay Area. Generally, the members are very conservative, and every single Republican president since Coolidge has been a member of the club. There is a $25,000 membership fee plus a yearly fee that is not released, and it has a waiting list to get in there from 20 to 30 years. Basically, it's like a big compound with multiple camps. Each camp in there has 20 to 50 people with their own clubhouse and their own set of rules, and they all do their own kind of thing throughout the week. And then they all meet up together for these big, very Wiccan and satanic based rituals. Although I don't want to what is it called? I don't want to diss anybody who's Wiccan or practices Satanism, because they're a bunch of rich fucks probably just fucking around. But Richard Nixon. So another thing I noted in here is it's a quote from the article from allthat'sinteresting.com/Bohemian-Grove. In 1967, club member Richard Nixon gave a speech on American foreign policy, calling it the, quote, first milestone on my road to the presidency, unquote. It was at the Bohemian Club in San Francisco. Following that speech, member Ronald Reagan agreed not to challenge Nixon in the primaries. Legend has it that the first inklings of the Manhattan Project were birthed within the redwood confines of the Bohemian Grove. So there's a lot of creepy shit involved in the Bohemian Grove. If you want to watch a video of one of these rituals, Alex Jones on YouTube has a really great video of him sneaking in there. I'll include that link in the show notes. It's a whole documentary about him going in there and finding out all their secrets and stuff. And regardless of what you think about Alex Jones, he's good at figuring out which conspiracy theories are actually real, even though he believes all of them. But he's a pretty good investigative journalist when you're talking about having the balls to sneak into highly secured secret society and film them doing satanic rituals, quote unquote. But yeah, it's pretty creepy. But the last thing I wanted to mention about that was Nixon had a quote from, if you Google the Nixon tapes, it's all these tapes they recorded him in the White House. First of all, he says some horrendous shit in those that makes you kind of hate Nixon a little more. But one of the things I thought was funny was he was asked about the Bohemian Grove by somebody, and in the tapes he said, quote, "The Bohemian Grove, which I attended from time to time, it is the most faggy goddamn thing you could ever imagine." He goes on to describe it as a piss fest, basically just a bunch of morons getting drunk and being dumbasses. And so whether you want to believe that what Nixon's saying is true or the whole truth, or if you want to believe that they're really trying to rule the world, that there's no evidence seriously that any of this has had any effect, but you'd imagine that with all those rich and powerful people there, they would be having some sort of effect on on policy in life. But yeah, so there you go, listener. You know, you are. That's as much as I got. Oh, also, uh, the Beach Boys typically will play there, which is kind of fun. Anyways, so I have a new segment for y'all that I am calling Quick Takes. I'm trying to find you guys. There you are. Okay, I'm calling Quick Takes. So I am gonna call one of my friends and see if they answer. And we are going to ask them to explain their views on something. I have a couple things written down that we've talked about today and a couple things that we haven't. But, and see what they think about it. They will have 30 seconds to explain themselves, and then we'll cut them off. So it'll be kind of fun hearing random people that I'm just going to try and get on the spot. So let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I get the right number for this guy because I have like 3 numbers saved. There we go. All right, let's see if he answers. Oh, and I'm purposefully going to keep their. Hey, oh, cool. So, just so you know, you're on the podcast. Don't say your name. I want your opinion on something.
Okay.
Okay. So you're gonna have 30 seconds to answer. All right. I'm gonna get the clock on. All right. Oh shit, I have it on minutes. Well, I'll count 30 seconds. So, Hannah, can you get 30 seconds on clock? Cool. All right. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Okay. Good. Did you think this was gonna happen?
No, I did not.
Let me know when you're ready, Hannah.
I will, as soon as I can figure.
Oh my gosh. Okay, you got it? Cool. All right. All right.
Ready and.
Okay, hold on. Let me wait till I ask the question.
All right.
All right. So here is your question.
All right.
What do you think about people wearing blackface for Halloween when they're impersonating a character? Go.
Well, I don't really know what blackface is, so.
It's like where someone puts black face paint on themselves to look like a African American person.
I feel like it depends on the costume, because if you're celebrating someone who has been in the past, like, who has done good, then I guess it's not bad. But if you're kind of mocking someone who I don't really know the situation, but if you're mocking someone, not really, like celebrating their successes, then I guess I would consider it not okay. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. Yeah, so if you're mocking someone, it's bad, and if you're celebrating their successes, it's good. All right, time. Thanks, Ty. Oh, I said your name. Bye. Whoops. That's all right. You only know his first name. Anyways, so I would agree. So where that question kind of came from, real quick, is I was running through articles to kind of find something to talk about on the podcast. And I ran into what just happened today, which is Ink Master Judge Oliver Peck is leaving the show after 13 seasons following an old photo that resurfaced on the internet of Peck wearing blackface. And I was like, oh man, I really like that guy. He was wearing blackface. What the hell? And I looked more into it just for a second, and I saw one photo that from TMZ where he's dressed up, looks like a specific LA Lakers player. And I was like, that's not that bad. Like, you're dressing up for Halloween and celebrating like a specific player, or even if you're not celebrating them, like you're pretending to be one person. You're not pretending to be a whole race. And I was like, if you haven't seen these photos, you should look them up right now on a separate tab and keep this one playing. And he has a Lakers jersey on. He's bouncing a basketball, and it looked. I was like, okay, like I can see where some people think that's insensitive, but like I don't know. Like he's pretending to be a specific basketball player. Like the jersey's got numbers on it. Whatever. And so Hannah and I actually had a conversation where we both kind of agreed. Like that to us at least that's okay. And then I saw the other photo because apparently there's actually two. And he's dressed up as a superhero, and instead of an S, so he's dressed up like a Superman almost, but instead of the S in the logo, it has an N. And he's got this stupid massive afro on, and I'm just like, oh shit, bro, that's bad. Because I don't think that is actually anybody. You're just pretending to be like a super black person. And I was just like, oh, dude, that's not cool. So my opinion changed a little, quite a bit, actually. I was like, oh, man. I mean, unless someone has this is a specific character from some comedy thing or whatever, which it very well could be. I don't know. I literally looked into this 30 minutes ago. But I'd agree. I'd agree with my friend on this one that, like, preface, my dad did not dress in blackface, but he did go a few years back as CeeLo Green to a Halloween party, and he just dressed up like him. And like that's fine, but if he would have gone further and done blackface and been CeeLo Green, I personally don't see why someone would necessarily have a problem with that. You're just pretending to be a specific person or a specific character. You're not pretending to be the whole race or even to mock people of color. And so I feel like that's where I also draw the line on that. Whenever call me wrong, I don't know if I'm right. Probably not. I'm sure some people would have very different views on that, but that's my personal view. So we're gonna call someone else. Will he answer? Will he answer? Will he answer? Oh, yeah, will he answer? Will he answer? Oh, maybe or maybe not. Oh, come on. Don't be asleep, you pussy bitch. Answer your phone. All right, I'm done. Done. Sorry, bro. All right, let's see. Let's call someone else. Not my boss. Let's call. Excuse me. All right, we're calling someone else.
Hello?
Hello, friend. Don't say your name. I want your honest opinion on something.
Okay.
Okay. Just so you know, you're on the podcast. I am recording.
Okay.
And you're going to have 30 seconds to answer. Hannah, are you ready with the timer?
I am.
What do you think about the oh my gosh, what's her name? The head of Congress right now. What's her name? You know her name, don't you? Nancy Pelosi. Do you think it's fair for Nancy Pelosi to hold on to the articles of impeachment to get a quote unquote fair trial in the Senate, where she also did not let the Republicans do what they wanted on their end? You think that's a fair shake, or what are your thoughts about that? You have 30 seconds and go.
No, I do not think it's fair. I think she's holding on to a lot of issues and things, person than the actual acts.
Yeah, okay. So when you think she's holding on to something, is it oh, never mind. Your time's up. All right. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
All right. I think I have one more question. Let's see if one more person will answer. Man, I do not have a ton of friends. Oh no, I'm not gonna call him. He won't answer. He hates talking on the phone. I feel like it gives him the nervous shits or something. Let's see. Should we call the lady we talked to pay our car? All right, come on. There's got to be something. Oh man, come on. Somebody who Hannah is working today. It's Tuesday. Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. Sorry. Hold on. I know this is probably really dumb for all you guys to hear, but this is something I just thought of, and I was like, oh, let's do this, and then I did not plan for it whatsoever. Oh man, I don't think I have the right number. I don't know which one it is. Never mind. Okay. Anyways, let's just call that one. That was a good round of quick takes, I guess. We'll call some more people next time. That'll be fun. Yeah. Anyways, if there's anything y'all want to talk about, please comment. Anything. I'm down. Let's talk about it. Let's see. What else do I have listed here? Boom. We're just gonna run through what I got, and then you guys comment some questions or anything you want to talk about. Whatever the fuck, it doesn't matter. And we'll kind of get into it. Oh yeah. Let's do the BuzzFeed quiz. Which page is the BuzzFeed quiz on? Oh, it's this one. All right, so I picked this BuzzFeed quiz because it is remarkably un-PC for BuzzFeed. And I thought it'd be really interesting if it'll ever load. There we go. I'm going to exit out of some of this other crap we've already looked at so that my internet isn't killing me. Oh, dang it. It just went away by accident. I should get some theme music or something and like play in between these segments, even live. So while I'm pulling this up, next week I'm going to have my father-in-law, Jason Hammond, on the podcast as a guest. That will be pretty fun. We'll talk probably mostly about politics. And yeah, I'm really excited for that one. It'll be a very interesting podcast. And he'll be coming here to the quote unquote studio, aka my living room. Yay. And then at the end of the month, again, we will have a Fuck You Dad segment. But it will not be live because I haven't figured out how to do that remotely yet. So sorry guys, but we'll be able to listen. Okay. So anyways, this BuzzFeed quiz is remarkably un-PC. That's why I picked it. And I just thought the title was so damn ridiculous. We can tell what percent gay you are by how many of these movies you grew up watching. Like, that doesn't even make any sense. What percentage gay you are based on the movies you grew up watching? Like, how do you know that the list is going to apply to anyone in particular? Their movie taste, etc. Anyways, I thought it was dumb, and I thought I probably know some of these and not, and I figured why not. All right. So, oh man, is this a long ass one? Okay, we'll hit the highlights. All right, First Wives Club, nope. Spice World, nope. Crossroads, no, but I've seen memes of that. Coyote Ugly, nope, never seen it. I know of it. Sister Act 1, Sister Act 2, never heard of them. Yeah, I'm serious. Disney Channel original movie Jumping Ship, nope. The movie where Freddie Prinze Jr. is shirtless on a lawnmower, nope. The Craft, nope. The Lizzie McGuire movie, I've seen that. Yes. Legally Blonde, yep. Yes, I've seen that. You're welcome. Bring It On, I've seen that. You're welcome. Rami and Michael's High School Reunion, I have seen that.
That's the most beautiful movie ever.
Clueless?
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
You have.
I don't think I've seen that.
Like, you know Iggy Azalea's I'm So Fancy
No.
video?
Yeah.
That movie that is based on.
That's based off a movie?
Yeah.
Oh, I definitely didn't see it then.
Oh my God, Caleb.
Hannah, I would have remembered these mini skirts, okay? The Divine, no, you're fine. You can talk, I don't care. The Divine Secrets of the Yaya Sister.
Yes, that's such a good movie.
What the fuck is that about? Come over here. What the fuck is that about? What is the Divine Secrets of the Yaya Sisterhood?
Yes, it's such a good movie.
Do they say Yaya a lot?
No. It's a really complex movie. You wouldn't
Oh
understand
my
it
god.
right off the
Okay.
bat.
Well, then don't describe that shit to me.
Yeah.
A League of Their Own. No, but it looks like a good
never
girl
seen
empowerment movie. I want to see that. Dirty Dancing.
There's our first.
Yes.
Yes, Dirty Dancing.
Dirty
yeah.
Dancing is wonderful.
Of course.
There's actually a really good documentary about Dirty Dancing. Called In the Movies That Made Us
Wait,
on
you've
Netflix.
never seen Dirty Dancing?
Oh no, I've only seen the documentary. You're right.
You've never seen it because
I exit that off. I need to see Dirty Dancing though, because I watched that piece and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And that scene where she like jumps into his arms.
Baby.
Like,
Yeah.
She
Could you
there was some
imagine
massive
being a kid
biffs.
Baby? Like,
right?
How fucked up do you have to be?
But there's some good biffs in that video in that episode of Movies That Made Us.
It's a great movie.
Are people posting questions or comments?
No, your mom said it's a great movie.
I know. Is anyone else posting
Not yet.
stuff? All right, post something to ask me. I don't care what it is. Just say something. Beauty and the Beast. I've seen that. It was like basically the theme of our wedding.
Selena, you've had to see.
I've
Selena.
never seen Selena.
Caleb.
You have to remember too that A lot of these movies were around when like my parents thought that Harry Potter was
Yeah,
the devil.
demonic. Yeah. We love to kill
Showgirls.
Jason.
I definitely would have remembered that scene where she's like in a stripper pole.
I don't think I've seen that.
I would have remembered that. Aladdin.
Yes.
How is that gonna tell them if I'm gay or not?
I don't know.
Devil Wears Prada. That's one of my favorite movies.
I
Oh
know,
my God,
Kim,
it's so
I know
good.
That, I know. How could you not let your son watch Dirty Dancing? Like, what is wrong with you?
What?
She said, who did I raise? Not to see Dirty Dancing. I failed as a mom.
Yeah, you
Just
also.
only in one part of like thousands of parts. You've succeeded in 9 billion other parts.
Well, thank you. But this is also coming from the people that, again, thought that if I watched Harry Potter, I'd become a wizard
True.
and worship the devil.
And yeah.
Well, okay, so to be fair to my
Your
parents,
parents
they didn't
came
necessarily believe this. It was more the community around them that like was really hardcore into it. I don't want to
Your
disparage
dad-
them enough.
Your dad said that he bets you're 37.6% gay.
37.6?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that what percentage Ancestry told you were gay?
Oh.
Oh, someone's calling me back. Hello?
Dude, I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. Do you want to do a quick take real quick?
Yeah, are you still on?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. Well,
No one
now
knows who you are.
no one knows who you are, so you can give me your honest opinion. So, well, I was gonna ask a political question, but no, actually, I'll just ask one of the questions I already asked.
Whatever you want. Okay.
So you got 30 seconds on the clock, Anna?
Yep, whenever you're ready.
Cool. So, do you think it's what are your views on blackface? Go.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
All these goddamn white people, they're fucking. I don't know what blackface is. It's where you put like makeup on to make yourself look like you're a black person when you're white.
Yeah, I heard Joe Rogan talking about this. He was saying.
Oh really?
About that. But he was talking about it on like the Tropic Thunder thing.
Oh yeah. That's like the exception. That's like the extreme exception.
All right.
Anyways.
Time's up.
Time's up.
Okay.
All right. Well, give me your quick take, anyways.
Oh, I was just gonna say. Wait, what? You
What?
want my opinion on what that's like? I think it's wonderful. If people want to do that, that's great.
Okay. Cool. Thanks.
Oh, I love it.
All right. Bye. We'll have you. Well, no one knows your name right now, but we'll have you on as a guest soon. Okay.
Okay, sounds good, man.
All right. Cool. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Anyways, back to what we were doing. All right. Grease, I have seen 100,000 times. Burlesque, I've seen a few times now, thanks to Hannah. Hocus Pocus, I've never actually seen
And
the whole
that is
movie.
so ridiculous.
I know.
But again, it is demonic.
Yeah.
So,
9 to 5. Nope.
and also, Jason, in response to your 37.6%, I think it's going to be 39.3%.
If it's based on the number of movies I've seen, then we're pretty
Girls, you've
low.
definitely seen
I love Mean Girls.
Miss Congeniality, please tell me you've seen that.
I've never seen Miss Congeniality.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, we're almost at the end already.
Kimberly Robinson.
Cruel Intentions. I don't like the way that guy's looking at her, but other than that, no, I haven't seen it. I also haven't seen Jawbreaker.
Jawbreaker's really good. It's kind of weird though.
It looks kind of weird.
Yeah.
They're like wearing superhero outfits, and there's their feet in heels, like impossibly. Well, that's also a cutoff. There could be someone laying under there.
Like they kill a girl at the beginning of the movie, and they're in high school.
Thanks for ruining
You're
it.
welcome.
There was nothing more than I wanted
Trust
to
me,
watch.
it doesn't
Rebecca
take long.
Gayheart, Rose McGowan, and Julie Bentz.
Yep, I don't know who any of those
I don't know
people
either.
are.
I don't know. Rebecca Gayheart's kind of cool. What?
Oh. But that also says 66. and
Wait,
100.
so it said okay. Let me just talk. I just wish you guys could fucking see this. Okay, I'm just gonna read this in order. You checked 10 out of 30 on this list. Okay, so that would be what, 1/3, which is what, like 30 what percent?
1/3 would be 33%.
33%.
33.333.
Okay. Which means you're 100% gay. Facts are facts. Congrats. And then it says, you checked more than 66% of quiz takers. Can your friends beat you?
I will say now, we will have the photo of this on the podcast page afterwards.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It just, that's weird.
Your mom says, we never thought things like that were demonic. I love all things scary and Halloween.
Well, you never let me watch them. I did.
You're her little boy.
Oh
She
man,
couldn't
what's
paint you with
what's
that
the name of that movie? The Will Ferrell movie where he runs around naked and Snoop Dogg's there. They're part of a fraternity. I think it's, and he goes like, "You my boy, Blue."
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Anyways, it's a raunchy film with lots of titties.
Your mom would have killed you.
Well, I think one of their friends left the DVD or VHS tape over, and I would watch that movie a lot.
Halo.
I loved that movie. It was so fun.
Movie.
Yeah, there was a lot of great boobs in it,
Halo.
and it was hilarious.
No.
They, I'm sure someone knows what it's called, but they make the guys who are pledging into the club stand on top of a roof and then tie their balls to rope and then connect the other end to a cinder block and trust them that when they drop it off that the old school
Dad
is
the one who,
and they basically, it's a trust exercise that the guys who are in the fraternity already tied the rope long enough so that none of them. Derek Powell. Shout out to Derek. I love that guy. He recorded my first band ever, like in his studio garage. Yeah. So shout out to Derek. He was really cool. Super dope guy. He shoved my sister's head in a trash can once, which was really funny. But anyways, yeah, so we anyway, so they do the trust exercise and they throw the cinder block off the roof, but one of them throws it onto a manhole and it goes into the manhole and yanks him by his balls off the roof.
Oh my God.
Onto the ground, and he's like, ah!
That's terrifying. Your mom is using cursing emojis.
Oh man. It's so funny. Oh, who cares? Mom, shut up.
Don't tell your mom to shut up.
Don't tell my mom that this is my podcast.
Person.
She is a beautiful person, but she needs to shut the hell up.
No.
All right.
Kim, I'm defending you. Always.
All right, you defend my mom. All right, I have time for like one question. Does anyone have a question or a topic they want to bring up other than the fact that you shouldn't diss your mom because she's dope and cool? Now would be the time to do it. Okay, so the last couple minutes we'll do questions. So seriously, post anything, post a thing we want to talk about. You also wanted to name Ty inappropriate names with testicles involved. Derek was the best.
Okay,
I miss Derek.
A question.
Yes.
My question is.
Yes, what's your question?
With the people that shared tonight, are we doing a drawing tonight or next time?
No,
so we're gonna do next time.
Yeah, it'll be next time.
Okay.
So it's not just if you shared tonight. It'll be if you shared tonight or tomorrow or
on
any day.
Podcast form.
On any form, tag us in it any way you can to make sure we see it. Message us a screenshot, whatever, and we'll get you in it.
Look what your dad said.
I just got a notification.
Look what your dad said.
Oh.
Read your dad's comment.
Kim Robinson is no longer watching. That's fine. I love you, Mom. Anyways. Yeah, so it'll be you messed up my train of thought while I was trying to describe what was going on.
I'm so sorry.
You asked the question, I was answering your question.
Oh, we're gonna do the drawings after the podcast, the next podcast.
Yeah, so it'll be the next. It'll be the next
Yeah.
podcast. We'll do it live on the air right to
And
begin.
Anybody can share between now and the next podcast.
Yeah, and when we
in order
record.
to get, as long as you tag us.
Yes.
On
Yes.
Instagram, Facebook.
Yep.
Twitter, if you.
Twitter.
So
I have a Twitter. I don't really post on it, but it's there if you want to tag on it. I check
I'm not
it.
a Twitter person. I've never had a Twitter. So.
I mainly just do it to read Trump
Yeah,
tweets.
Oh God. No.
That's like the one.
That's the one reason why
I think I follow Trump, Kim Kardashian, and Elon Omar
Cool.
on Twitter. That's it. Anyways, so if you guys have anything to say or questions or whatever, go ahead and post them right now. And if there are any, by the time I'm done with this next segment, I'll talk about them for a second. So the last segment is, what am I calling this segment again? Yes,
Jumps with.
the nightly dump. And this will just be kind of like, this will just kind of be the thing that's bothering me this week. It's not really a huge deal, but it's just an annoyance. So it's kind of in the same vein as Bieber's from the Drunk Ex-Pastors podcast, which, by the way, is a great fucking podcast, guys. Especially if you're like ex-church, especially if you're super involved in the church or were involved in the church. These guys are great. They're two pastors, ex-pastors, and they get drunk on their podcast and talk about theology and current events and politics, etc. It's great. They're hilarious too. Anyways, so my nightly dump today is Stalinite Communists. So as someone who it sounds so PC saying this. It sounds so left-wing saying it this way. As someone who identifies as a socialist, I respect the plight of communists, but you commies gotta fucking stop with worshiping Stalin. Like, it's people who look at Stalin and his reign and go, yeah, that guy is the shit and the leader of our movement. Like, what the hell? Sorry about that. I was accountant texting me. So they're, I mean, these people go all the way. They are I can never pronounce this right. Holodomor deniers. They deny that the famine even happened, which is super well documented. And they worship him like a god, and they negate the fact that he was a horrible leader and was one of the downfalls of Soviet Russia. He was a dictator. He wanted to be an emperor. He was an opportunistic oligarch piece of shit, and it's ridiculous. All these guys from the Socialist Rifle Association, which I'm all for their plight. I mean, Marx even says that if I'm blanking on the exact quote, but if you take away the guns from the proletariat, then it's time for uprising. So basically what every libertarian's talking about too. And so anyways, a lot of these SRA guys, Socialist Rifle Association guys, will post on Reddit mainly is what I see it on, and on Facebook, the guys from the Proles of the Proletariat, which is a podcast where just a bunch of drunk socialists get on there and talk. They all post memes about how great Stalin is, and he's not that great. And yeah, that's just bothered me. Is this one tiny sect of communists that are super loud and happen to be the most annoying fucking communists and socialists in the world are people who love Stalin, and do not and fail to recognize any of his faults. It's ridiculous. That being said, I don't have a problem with communism, I mean the whole demonification of communism comes from it not being able to get out of its infancy, because of either you have people like Stalin that just are power hungry dictators that take over the whole movement, or you have too much capitalist intervention to let the thing flourish on its own and actually get to where it's supposed to be, as the name suggests, a commune of the working class, ruling the people, actually fully ruling themselves in an almost anarchistic way. But the problem is it never gets past the first start of it, which is where you have a dictatorship of the proletariat, and you take over the means of production, and then that basically stops right about there because everybody gets power hungry and goes, ooh, yeah, we control everything now. And then on top of that, you got to deal with uprisings, etc. But if it ever got out of its infancy, I think that if it would turn to full socialism, I mean, that's like most people don't know this, but like the biggest difference between like a straight line socialist and like a communist, of most types, is basically the way you go about creating socialism. A communist would side more heavily with Marx on his way of an upright, or I should say early Marx. Later Marx was more work within the system, but early Marx was dictatorship of the proletariat, push through, take over everything by force, and then forcefully change it all. Later Marx, and what most socialists, people who identify as a socialist politically, would say, is that we need to have a revolution within the current democratic systems that we have today. And that's just the main big difference. So anyways, that was my nightly dump. That was the podcast. Again, like, share, comment, subscribe. And yeah, guys, have a good night.